Well, hello and welcome back to the Force Friday show where we discuss all things Star Wars. Stephen, today it's not so much a headline as that it's a breakdown of the most recent.
We did say we were going to do it.
Episode 9, Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker trailer. So we're going to break this down, Stephen.
Yep.
We're going to try and do it sequentially. Maybe pick out some of the more memorable moments and some Easter eggs and give our thoughts on what this means.
Okay.
So we'll start off with also that incredible opening shot of Rey.
Heavily breathing,
which I think is a clue, which I'll get into.
Yep.
She appears on the screen in the middle of a deserty tundra setting. I think this is Tatooine.
I think it is, John.
We spoke about it, we actually watched the trailer again before we came on, Stephen. I don't think this is Jakku, I think this is Tatooine. You says your reasoning is because you think it's too rocky. And I actually agree, Tatooine, although they're both desert planets, one's more rocky than the other.
More Junie.
More Junie.
That's Jakku.
I think it's Tatooine, and I think that incredible shot of her, obviously the TIE Interceptor coming along, sweeping down low, that was a stunning scene, incidentally, the music dipping.
Yeah.
I think it's her training. I think she's out of breath because she's been training. And I think it may be Luke, Force Ghost Luke, speaking to her, because obviously he narrates the opening of the trailer. Yeah. Every generation has a legend, passed on thousands of years of knowledge. So what was your thoughts? Do you think it's a training sequence?
I think it is, John, because it doesn't make much more sense to be anything other than that. Although, saying that, we do get an interior shot of dark gloves, but is that part of the same sequence? That could be set in space, whatever, you know.
It could be.
They
deliberately don't show you the head.
Yeah, to indicate that it's Kylo Ren, but you know, as you said, they've been deliberate there. I don't think it's Jakku because I don't think Rey would have any intentions going back there. Finn certainly doesn't want to go back there. You know,
back to Jakku?
He kind of emphasised that in The Force Awakens a few times. So I think it is Tatooine. I think we are going to get back there. I think we're going to see some familiar planets in this, or systems, whatever you want to call them, in this film, because J.J. Abrams has always said that this film is going to tie in all the previous 8 episodes along with this one. So I think we're going to get down a trip down memory lane.
I do as well, Stephen, and I think it's going to tie into Return of the Jedi. I really do. We're seeing a whole host of Easter eggs and signs pointing towards it. None more so than in the various different sequences we see after that opening shot. But it goes off and shows you what the rest of the gang are up to. We see Finn and Poe together. Are they a bromance? Is this just two close friends? We seem to have a lot of people desperate to have these guys come together. I don't know why, I wouldn't care either way. Do what you've got to do, as long as it fits into the story in a cohesive manner.
Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. As Luke says, people were desperate to maybe say, is Luke, has he been with somebody, is he homosexual? And Hamill says,
listen,
it doesn't matter. If he's homosexual in your mind, then he's homosexual. If he's heterosexual in somebody else's mind,
I'll give you a good example as well. There was an interview not that long ago with Mark Hamill talking about The New Hope with Harrison Ford, and he was doing the impersonation of Harrison Ford in regards to the trash compactor scene, which was shot out of sequence. They'd still had to get into the trash compactor to shoot the scenes, but they were doing this particular shot after the trash compactor. Mark Hamill said, you know, back in 1976 when they were filming this, that he was concerned about the continuity. Shouldn't my hair be a mess, etc., you know, full of stuff, you know, all matted, etc. Harrison Ford turned around and said, kid, you know, if they're looking at your hair, they're in really big trouble. You know, basically, it doesn't really matter what sexuality they are. You know, the characters are what they are. If they want to be that way in your mind, then fair enough. It doesn't. It kind of derails the sort of storyline.
And we've not got enough time. And we've not got enough time.
Kind of thing. But if it is, it is. If it isn't, it isn't. I don't care. Yeah,
exactly, Stephen. But then obviously in various other shots we get to see the droids. We get to see this little DO droid alongside obviously BB-8. This cool little droid actually came onto the stage at Celebration. It was very, very cool. BB-8 actually came onto the stage as well, showing you the advancement in technology. And it looks a very cool little companion. This is going to be potentially a new 3PO and R2-D2 sort of relationship. So it was cool seeing them. We also then get to see the likes of Kylo fixing his helmet. He's doing it himself. That mimics that deleted scene from Return of the Jedi where Luke is using a compass. It was later revealed to repair or finish his new lightsaber. So that's again a bit of continuity going into Return of the Jedi. There's a whole host of sequences, Stephen. The speeder bikes coming up off of the desert. That's again pointing towards the Return of the Jedi
as well. Yeah,
yeah, the barge.
Yeah.
With Finn, Poe, and I believe the droids are on there as well.
I like that sequence. It was quite fast and furious. So there's obviously a lot of action going to be happening in this film.
And again, hinting at a connection with Return of the Jedi, going back again to obviously R2D2 and potentially 3PO coming back to Tatooine. So that's linking into the
Maybe they're
prequel
going to
trilogy.
pour concrete into that mouth in the sand. What was it called?
The Sarlacc pit.
Yeah, just to make sure Boba Fett doesn't get out.
No, I think he's out. I think he made it, Stephen. I definitely do. I think we'll see Boba Fett popping up at some point. Not in the saga though, because that's end.
Maybe the Mandalorian, yeah.
Maybe the Mandalorian. That would be very cool indeed. But Stephen, there's a whole host of other things here again. Lando back in the
cool
Falcon pit. What did you make of seeing Lando back? They're saying in this article he is a co-pilot. I thought he was the main pilot, because obviously in the original trilogy, when Han was always piloting the Falcon, he sat to the left. Chewie sat to the right. It's very clear to me that he's sitting to the left, Lando. More importantly, he's wearing the Donald Glover gold and navy sort of a attire that we've seen in the Solo. So he's kept those same outfits pristine for 50 years now.
Listen, I'm just glad to see Billy Dee back on the big screen. You know, it was the big question in The Force Awakens, it was a big question in The Last Jedi, where is Lando? Now we're going to find out where Lando is. Obviously, I think things have changed things a little bit, you know, in regards to the character. I don't think originally he was going to be appearing in this saga. I don't think he was, John, to be honest with you. With the death of Carrie Fisher, it's kind of shook things about. But listen, I'll take what we can from the sort of what characters, what they call them, legacy characters.
Yes, legacy characters.
He certainly is one of the big ones.
He certainly is.
And it's a shame that we're not going to see any interactions with him and Han. We're not going to see any interactions with him and there wasn't much interactions with him and Luke, to be fair. I don't know if there's going to be any with Leia. I hope so. I hope they've sort of mastered some kind of technology where they can do that, because I think it's important that there's some scene with both of them as well, because they've got the history in there as well. But it was just a great sequence as well. It looked like they were going through hyperspace in that trailer as well.
Yeah, it looked as though it was about to open up onto a system. So it'll be intriguing to see where that fits into the greater story. Where they're coming out, is this at the end, the beginning? Who knows? But it's just great, as you did say, seeing Lando and Chewie back together for the first time since The Empire Strikes Back in the Falcon. Yeah, that was a great bit of nostalgia. One of my favourite shots in The Empire Strikes Back is right at the end, when Luke and Leia are looking out with the two droids onto the galaxy, and you've got Chewie and obviously Lando in the Falcon getting ready to go off and rendezvous in Tatooine. But Stephen, talking about Leia, we actually get that shot of Leia as well. Yeah, it's a great scene. Hugging and embracing Rey, and she's actually crying, Rey. That looked stunning. We see the medal as well. I think it's been revealed that little Easter egg is without a shadow of a doubt. It's Han's.
Is it Han's? Yeah,
it's Han's medal.
That's quite good.
Yeah, so that was an incredible scene. That looked seamless. It looked as though it was shot in the actual film. So if this is where a similar level of quality throughout with Leia, I think it's going to be indistinguishable. We're not going to realise whether she's...
I noticed Leia's hair as well was very similar to her hair on Endor as well.
Yeah.
You know, in the speeder bike chase scenes.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Like that. It was very similar to that.
And it looks as though it's on Endor. It looks like a wooded planet. Yeah. And speaking of Endor, Stephen, we get the shot of the gang reunited. Rey, Finn, Poe, and they're on Endor, gazing out onto this ocean or lake. Yeah. If it's a lake, it's a very big lake. I think it's an ocean. And in the distance is the destroyed second Death Star, sitting very ominously. Yeah. And that sets up the final bit of narrating from Luke, where he says, not everything's gone, or nothing's truly gone. Yeah. And we hear that maniacal laugh, and no one's ever really gone. And then we hear the maniacal laugh of the Emperor, clearly hinting that he is fixed to the Death Star in some way. Is he going to come back, Stephen? We've got the dog downstairs barking. He thinks he is.
Palpatine,
yeah, he thinks he's going to come back. Do you think that the Emperor will be back, Sheev will be back, or do you think this is maybe...
I think it's going to... I think they're going to actually go out to this, whatever's left, the debris of the Death Star. And I think there's going to be some kind of presence in there, because that would be...
Could this be them finally getting to the bottom of Rey's lineage? Was she buffed from the Force like the guy in the comments section in one of our previous shows said? And for it to really discover, she has to go out and meet the Sheev himself on the Death Star. Yeah. But how does that jibe with
I think it'll be in a kind of ghost... or a spirit sort
he's
of
not.
way.
I'm sorry, he's
no,
not.
I don't think it should be, John. I think it would take away the ending of Return of the Jedi. It would Anakin's Darth Vader and Anakin's sacrifice to save his son would be
meaningless.
Unless
Anakin's involved as well. how good would it be to see Hayden Christensen come back and somehow finally see off this?
I think if he's in this in some capacity, it's going to be one of the best kept secrets ever. Very much like The Secret. It was in Empire Strikes Back with the Luke, I am your father.
And Star Trek as well with Khan. Benedict Cumberbatch kept that secret.
Yeah, exactly, John.
So he's capable.
It's possible. I mean, that is possible, you know. But I just thought the trailer itself was... the first time I watched it was actually underwhelmed. I don't know why.
Yeah, Stephen, I have to say, I agree with you. I don't think as a trailer as a whole, I don't think it was anything extraordinary by any means.
It was a good trailer.
It was okay.
It just wasn't great.
Yeah, there was a couple of moments that elevated it to be a little bit better. The laugh, and obviously perhaps that shot of Leia and Lando.
I thought the shot of Rey doing the backflip
that was very
fantastic,
cool.
But I get the same feeling I did with the first Force Awakens trailer. It was very... it wasn't underwhelming, to be fair, but it just wasn't... There wasn't much there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It was really just
I think,
reminding us this is coming out.
Yeah.
And it was very much the same as that first Force Awakens trailer. That one when Finn pops up, the first shot. I got that same kind of feeling. The title as well comes up as well. That's obviously the concluding part of the trailer breakdown, The Rise of Skywalker. The title itself, I don't know. I'll get used to it. I'll just have to get used to it because that's what the title is.
Yeah.
But I just think it's another J.J. Abrams trick. It's like The Phantom Menace when it came out. It raised more questions. Exactly, John. This is raising a lot of questions on social media. A lot of theories are kicking about now.
I don't think Rise of Skywalker.
And I think J.J. Abrams loves doing that to the fans. I think he loves, generating that kind of debate. And that's where I think this title's been generated from that sort of idea of let's give the fans something to talk about, for the next few months.
Yeah, and I think it's also garnered interest for the film as well, Stephen. A lot of people maybe weren't looking forward to this film at all. This has maybe bolstered their interest, maybe get their anticipatory juices flowing. I think the title will maybe make more sense in context when you actually watch the film.
Exactly.
Right now, it doesn't make much sense to me. The Rise of Skywalker, they've been telling you for months, and even in Star Wars Celebration, that this is the end. They always have envisioned the saga, or George always envisioned, aka Lucas, envisioned the saga as being a 3-part trilogy of stories. So you're ending it after this, and then you're naming the final film The Rise of Skywalker, when just about every single Skywalker is dead. I think it is, Stephen.
That's the kind of title you'd expect for an episode 7.
Yeah, 7, The Rise of Skywalker. I don't think Rise of Skywalker. I think they're playing on it. It's too obvious. I think she is going to perhaps be buffed through the Force, and there may be, I've seen theories that they're saying the Skywalker may be the new term for Jedi. So the Rise of the Skywalker, it's the new way, they're following the Skywalker way, aka Luke, his new way of training, his philosophy on the Jedi way. Who knows? Because as he did say, the Jedi has to end. So maybe it's ending and now it's reinvigorated with Skywalker. Oh no, Stephen, I'll finish it up, this topic, because we have been on quite a bit. We could talk a lot more, but we've got more to speak about. But I think they've done just enough with the trailer. They've whetted the anticipatory juices. They've ticked all the boxes and says, look, we're going back to right perhaps some of the perceived wrongs of The Last Jedi. We're going to go into more of the nostalgia, and we're going to make this feel more like a Star Wars film and get away from Force FaceTiming and whatnot. And I can't think of a better guy to do it than JJ. But Stephen, we're going to move on swiftly because we have got a host of other topics to discuss. This one connects into the trailer slightly. We've got Mark Hamill supporting a superfan's emotional video, and this is all about a chap called Eric Butts, what a name, who's been getting absolutely destroyed on social media and on YouTube for his emotional reaction to The Rise of Skywalker, the trailer. The guy was getting quite upset, he was crying, he was obviously very passionate about the franchise, emotional, and people were just going to town. And Mark Hamill stepped in and says, why anyone would ridicule someone so passionate and clearly enjoying what he's seeing is beyond me. And I agree with Mark. This is a bunch of bullying, social justice warrior bitches for me, who are going to town on a guy, man-hating him because he's crying about something he's clearly passionate about. We've got one idiot, Ashley St. Clair, some Trump wannabe lover, saying that he's a superhero and Star Wars movie-obsessed guy. It's a culture that's bred up a new population of undateable men. Might be worse than men who wear cargo shorts. Well, it's certainly not worse than some random bint who goes onto social media and attacks people she doesn't know for showing passion. At least they're showing passion for something decent instead of Trump emotion, politics. So look, Stephen, I don't know what you make of it. I think it's absolutely disgraceful that they're attacking this chat for being emotional about something he's clearly really upset. He's devoted to it. He's obviously bought into this franchise his whole life, and this is the culmination of it all, and he's getting upset. So I think he's got every right to be emotional.
Well,
and it's got nothing to do with these idiots.
Listen, if this is his passion in life, then go for it. You know, that's what I say.
I would never cry over a trailer because I'm not that type of person, Stephen. But look,
but this guy is, you know, and this is what he wants to do. So
exactly,
you know, let him do it. And yeah, I mean, I saw that comment from this random with Stars and Stripes next to her name. Listen,
enough, she's got a YouTube channel with 0 videos, so she's too scared to post videos up, but she'll criticise other people for doing it. So I think that speaks volumes for her, Stephen. But look, just reeks of bitterness. But listen, the guy is clearly a passionate Star Wars fan. I liked the reaction, I've got to be honest with you, John. I thought it was very honest of the guy to do it. You know, it's very hard in these days, you know, a 40-year-old man expressing his feelings on YouTube to his passion and getting ridiculed for it. And funnily enough, he's not undateable because he's got a fiancée.
Yeah.
And he's bought her 5 different engagement rings to mimic the gauntlet of Thanos. So
he sounds like a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, he sounds pretty cool to
me
as well.
And listen,
and he took it in good spirits.
Yeah, I mean, social media has got a lot to answer for. You know, it's such a great platform in so many ways, but also it brings out the worst in people as well that know they're untouchable. Basically, you know, they're faceless. Certainly in this case, Ashley St Clair is certainly she's not faceless, but it's certainly got a face you'll remember. But
she's
listen,
destroyed, Stephen. It was great.
Yeah, I did notice, John. But listen, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not that type of person that goes on to have spats on social media. I'll leave that when I'm on the Xbox and microphone, like back in the day on GTA. But listen, horses for courses. Listen, the guy loves his Star Wars.
He's invested in it.
Trailers. I think we all get caught up in them as well. You know, we all show our emotions in different ways.
One of the best reactions I've seen was the priest for The Force Awakens crying.
Yeah.
It's raw emotion and it's true and it's real.
Well, he's got one out just now as well for this trailer. I need to watch it as well, John. And you find all these different characters who do these reaction videos. We do them ourselves, but we do them in a different way. Everybody's different. Everybody shows their emotions different. This guy's very open about his emotions and let him be. Yeah,
Stephen, look, I've been told I'm a cold fish. I don't cry that much. Certainly not over trailers, but that's just different strokes for different folks. If we were all the same, the world would be a very tedious place indeed. But Stephen, I'm going to move on to the next topic again. It's connecting into Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, and this one is all about George Lucas meeting with J.J. Abrams. Oh, I've got that the wrong way around. J.J. Abrams meeting with George Lucas before writing the script. He says that he always had an idea in mind, Lucas, about where things should go in this third trilogy. And although they threw this out in the main, obviously it was going into the minuscule little bacterial minutiae of the galaxy, his idea. But although they threw it out, JJ wanted to get back because he felt like from the very beginning that it should tie everything in. And at the magnitude of the undertaking, he felt it would be good to go and pick the brains of George Lucas. And he says that he felt the story we told, the goal for this movie, the job, was to end not just this trilogy and just to make a standalone film. Of course, it needs work in that too, but to end 9 films, 3 trilogies, and so the job was to look at them all. He says inevitably there have been a lot of ideas since the beginning, since George first came up with this and where things could go. We had a meeting with him before we even wrote the script. So, Stephen, I don't know what you make of this. I think this is perfect. Certainly with this concept of Chief Palpatine coming back and making an appearance of some sort. Obviously, George Lucas was the guy who was responsible for giving us Darth Plagueis the Wise, the concept of the Sith, perhaps learning how to reverse death, cheat death. So what better way than to have the guy who created it all come in?
I think that's why J.J. Abrams has brought him in, to pick his brains on that said subject, John. I think that's what it is for. Hats off to George Lucas, first and foremost. He's not held a grudge with Lucasfilm, ironically, disregarding his outline for this trilogy. He's accepted that and clearly moved on, but it's nice to see that he's been involved, he's been brought back in. I do think it's to sort of pick his brains in regards to Darth Plagueis, that backstory, because I think this is going to play a big part in it. There was another theory, John, in regards to there never was a Palpatine, it was always Darth Plagueis.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
Which is quite interesting. I don't know how out there that is, to be honest with you.
Well, the original Plagueis in his alien form, I think, has been cast out of canon, so they could do it.
They could do it, it's possible.
Could. Be interesting.
It'd be interesting, but I don't know if I'd like that, John.
No.
To be honest with you, I think it would open more questions up.
Yeah,
but I think it's a good thing. It's a good bit of publicity as well, J.J. Abrams involving the maker in this final instalment. I think it makes sense as well, because I think, like we were talking about previously, I think we're going to be harking back to a lot of little things happened in the previous episodes, especially Return of the Jedi. I think we're going to get a lot from that, and probably Revenge of the Sith as well. I think we're going to get a lot from that as well. It's an interesting article, John. It doesn't really explain too much, other than basically it's J.J. Abrams picking George Lucas's brains in regards to the sort of outline and some backstory to some of the characters. Yeah,
and Stephen, as you did say, if you're going to go back and make this a culmination of all the various different sagas and trilogies we've seen, or trilogies within the saga, the greater saga, then you have to go back and pick the brains of the guy that started it all, who had his hand in the first two trilogies. And I can't think of a better guy to be dealing with a potential resurrected or dark force spirit Palpatine than George Lucas.
Well, John, listen, just before we move on to the last article, I'll leave you with this. George Lucas knows a good character when he writes one.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's going to bring us right into the next topic, Stephen, which is going to completely contradict, in my opinion, what you've just said there. Some people would disagree, including the Hernandez, the lady that does the presenting for the Star Wars show. She was obviously pumping up and praising Jar Jar Binks to the heavens in the Star Wars Celebration show.
Got a job to keep.
Yeah, she's got a job to keep. And this is all about, Stephen, George Lucas naming Jar Jar Binks as his favourite character once again. So this is a guy who knows how to do a good character. And basically, Stephen, the concept is
he's a key to it.
Yeah, he's talking about the 20th anniversary of Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and he says, "It is one of my favourite movies, and of course, Jar Jar is my favourite character." Now, I don't know if this has been taken out of context, and he's speaking in the context of
the Phantom Menace. All right, okay.
Yeah, just the Phantom Menace. He's his favourite character in the Phantom Menace, or whether this is the entire saga as a whole. Either way, Stephen, George has been smoking a very large spliff, because even in the context of the Phantom Menace, Jar Jar is nowhere near the best character in that film. You have Obi-Wan Kenobi,
Darth Maul,
Palpatine,
Chancellor Valorum.
It's even better. You've got the black guy who was the Naboo guard. Yeah. You've got Padme, Queen Amidala. They're all
Mace Windu, yeah.
Boss I forget his name.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, so you've got a whole host of characters in there, Steve.
A double-headed commentator.
The big fish. Eats a bigger fish. From
the pod race.
Yeah. We've got Jar Jar. Jar Jar. We've got Jabba the Hutt in there as well in the pod race. So what are you talking about, George?
Listen, I'll keep this brief because I know time's pressing, John. One thing I will say about Jar Jar Binks is he was a game changer in regards to CGI. The technology to create that character and make him realistic. I'm saying game changer, well, certainly wasn't. Sorry, I'll take that back. That was Jurassic Park. But to make that character believable and mingle with real life actors was quite a feat.
Yeah.
I think we take that for granted at times. Some of the effects in The Phantom Menace in regards to that character were stunning, especially in the sort of forest scenes at the opening, when they landed on Naboo. I thought the interactions, Ewan McGregor's eye level was a little bit off, but apart from that, I thought for its day, it was quite a feat to accomplish that character, to believe that he was actually there.
Yeah, and Stephen Ahmed Best did a fantastic job as well. He really did bring the character to life. Love him or hate him, he done a fantastic job of bringing that character to life, and it was great to see him back at Celebration again. Stephen, I'm going to quickly round the topic up by saying that I'm a complete hypocrite, because I was 10 when this film came out, and I actually did enjoy Jar Jar Binks when the film came out. I was the target demographic for that character, and I enjoyed him. I actually won a Jar Jar I can't remember what you call them. It's the one where it spits out toys or sweets.
All right.
I won it in a newspaper clipping. A Pez.
Yeah.
I won a Jar Jar Pez head. Good. And I went to great lengths to get it, so I'm a complete hypocrite. Stephen, we're going to move on to the next topic. It's all about Alan Tudyk. We're continuing this sort of a notion about CG, and he's discussing being back for obviously the character of K2SO in this upcoming Cassian Andor series, and he's very happy about it indeed. So what's your thoughts about this? I actually when it came out, I was praying that he would come back because I loved that dynamic between the two characters. What was your thoughts? Are you happy to see him back? I don't think there'll be anybody on the earth who's a Star Wars fan.
No, it was one of the best things about Rogue One. The chemistry between him and Cassian Andor was excellent. Very much like, strangely, Han and Chewbacca. Very
precisely what it was like.
You know, just the relationship between them, almost brother-like. But I thought the character was fantastic. I thought the effects for the character were very realistic as well. And I think most people, when K2SO met his demise, were very saddened. I think it was quite an emotional end to the character.
It was the most emotional end in the whole film.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Well, apart from obviously the very end, but you know, when they were all dying on, I can't remember what that character, that planet was called.
Christ!
Scarif. It certainly was. It was definitely one of the most emotional parts of the movie, was seeing this droid being destroyed.
Yeah, it's because he's made such an impact. Steve made such personality. So, look, it's a very, very short and sweet topic, because we are really running out of time here and we have to move on swiftly to the final topic. But I'm glad to see he's coming back.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for this series. We're going to have to wait another couple of years, but it'll be well worth the wait, seeing him reuniting with Diego Luna, Cassian Andor and K2SO, and I cannot wait for that, Stephen. So we're going to move on to this final topic. This is going to be extremely quick, and it's all about the Knights of the Old Republic being a project firmly in development at Lucasfilm, and it was Kathleen Kennedy being asked about it, and I believe she says that essentially it was something that was being worked on. I can't get the exact quote just now. You know, we talk about that all the time. Yes, we are developing something to look at. Right now I have no idea where things might fall, but we have to be careful that there is a cadence to Star Wars that doesn't start to feel too much. We don't have a crystal ball, yada yada yada. Essentially, they're working and developing on Knights of the Old Republic, Stephen. It's going to be Benioff and Weiss.
Yeah, it's so obvious. You know, the article itself, I read the headline, I knew exactly where the article was going. It definitely is Benioff and Weiss that are going to be covering this period. It's good to see that they're not committing themselves to saying it's a trilogy. It could be something that these two guys are going to concentrate on that time period. They've got thousands of years to, you know, cover.
4,000 years.
You can have films about it, you can have TV series about it, animation about it, and these guys can be involved in that. So they've got quite a lengthy sort of time span to cover, and I can't wait for this to kick off. This is going to be a few years away before we see any light of day at it, but listen, I don't mind that. It's something to look forward to.
Well, it certainly is going to be a few years, Stephen, because Bob Iger actually came out and said that there's going to be a break, a hiatus after episode 9. They're stepping away from films for a couple of years perhaps, focusing in on the TV shows, getting that off the ground with Disney Plus, maybe expanding out the mythos with these TV shows, seeing where they can go. We may see an Obi-Wan film if The Mandalorian takes off, and I have no reason to believe it won't.
No.
Then we'll see the Benioff and Weiss series, and I do think it's them that's going to be involved in this, with obviously the Knights of the Old Republic. Can't think of a better duo to do it. They're fantastic writers. The way they've adapted the Jar Jar Martin Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire, has been magnificent. I'm head deep, not knee deep, not feet deep, I'm head deep in the final series, final series, and I cannot wait to see how this all concludes. These guys get the period piece, they get the setting, and they will do this justice when they get their hands on it. It's going to be absolutely fascinating to see the beginning of the Sith Empire and obviously the Jedi facing off in this incredible battle. Maybe at some point we'll see Bane bringing in the rule of two, who knows. I cannot wait to see what they've got in mind for this potential Knights of the Old Republic. If indeed it is the Knights of the Old Republic, it may be a different name completely, it may be a different timeline, but they are going to be doing it, I've no doubt in my mind, Stephen, and I'm very excited about it. But look, that is going to round up this week's show, Force Friday show. If you've enjoyed it, you know what to do, comment below and let us know your thoughts on all the myriad of different things we've discussed. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back next Monday with MBE Box Office.